three, you want that level of competition heightened a lot more. You want that intrigue with teams kind of bunched up a lot because it adds so much value and intrigue and drama once you start to get to the last couple of weeks of the season on who's ultimately going to make the playoffs.
Who of our second slate do you think is going to join them at 3-1, or you can see making a run at these teams, Power and Triplets, who are really exerting their influence right now?
Well, with Dante Green and Killer Threes, because you have a potent offensive player, he allows you to be able to score the basketball. Frank Nitti, with his offensive prowess, gives you an opportunity to win basketball games. Again, it's about doing the little things itself. But I love guys that can score the basketball, of course. Jeff Green, the second in the league right now in scoring.
Well, it's Power coming out on top. We also saw Trilogy avoid going to 1-3, the back-to-back reigning champions. And a fantastic afternoon of Big Three basketball. More to come here from Memphis. Only week 4, plenty more time to see the Big Three in person. Tonight on CBS, it begins with NCIS Hawaii and back-to-back editions of 48 Hours. For Jim Jackson and our entire crew, I'm Sloan Martin saying so long from Memphis. Don't forget, there are 3 more games left, Big3.com. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.
I'm at 5:30. We're at 5:46. 5:46, 5:45, yes. You got that, George?
Team Jonathan Simmons. And 6'2" out of Iowa State, the captain for the Ghost Ballers, number 88, Mike Taylor. The head coach of the Ghost Ballers was named one of the NBA's 50 greatest players, a 9-time NBA All-Star. He led the league scoring 4 times, known for his iconic pick and roll. One of the greatest scorers in basketball history, and a member of the James Naismith Hall of Fame, the Iceman, George Gervin. The co-captain Tri-State, from San Diego State, Devils hero Deshaun Stevens. 6'7", playing out of Wisconsin, number 7, Ray Dixon. Tri-State co-captain, 6 foot from the University of Washington, number 25, Justin Denton. 6'6", out of Michigan State, the captain of Tri-State, number 23, Jason Richardson. The assistant coach for Tri-State is an NBA All-Star whose career spanned 13 seasons. He is known as the Mayor, Steve Mix. The head coach for Tri-State is an NBA and ABA champion, as well as the most valuable player in both leagues. His jersey is retired by both the Nets and 76ers. A Hall of Famer and one of the greatest players of all time, Dr. J. Julius Erving.
I'll be right back. You all right? You got about 10 minutes.
I am here scarfing, so I apologize for the noise. Thank you. Yeah, I am. I actually, unfortunately, lost the format. How did that happen? So you just have to walk me through. Tennessee, known for blues and barbecue, this weekend, the home of the Big Three. It is separation time in week 4 as teams look to advance in the standings at the midway point. Coming up here on Big Three TV, still a triple header to go, starting with Ghost Ballers against Tri-State and MVP candidate Jason Richardson. Bivouac against last year's Player of the Week, Dante Green in the Killer Threes. And then Enemies and Aliens will wrap things up here from FedEx Forum in Memphis. Our standings, already a couple teams moving to 3-1, including Power and Triplet. We'll see if Ghost Ballers and Tri-State can join them the same way. Ball Hogs Trilogy among the teams falling to 2-2. Sloan Martin along with the Hall of Famer, the legend, and the winning coach, and Nancy Lieberman from Game 1 today. Congratulations. But looking ahead at these teams here this afternoon, we have the Ghost Ballers and Tri-State, both 2-1 teams.
Yeah, I mean, this might be George Gervin's best team since he's been coaching 6 years in this league. And of course, you know, you have Dr. J. Those guys are golfing buddies, but when they get on the court, it's all business.
Well, let's talk first about Tri-State and Jason Richardson, one of the best players in the Big Three, putting up monster numbers.
Well, he's having an incredible year. He's in fantastic shape. He worked so hard in the offseason. His three-point shot is no joke, but I tell you what, you better box him out. He's that good.
On the other side, Jonathan Simmons and Mike Taylor teaming up as a great 1-2 punch for the Ghost Ballers. Yeah,
they are tied in this league, right, for scoring this year. They have done a great job of being able to work off of each other's talent. Mike Taylor is pretty much unguardable when he goes to the basket, and Simmons plays off of that.
Here are rosters. Mike Taylor, Chris Johnson, Jonathan Simmons getting the bulk of the scoring for Tri-State. Jason Richardson, Justin Denman, and Deshaun Stevens. The size you see there with Tri-State, but it really does all revolve around Richardson.
It does revolve around Richardson, but you know, that's my Hall of Fame classmate of 1996. George Gervin will be forever tied to each other. He and his son are good people, and that's the man. Look at that, Dr. J and his son, and he's the guy I've known since I was 14 growing up in New York.
Special rules in the Big Three. First to 50 wins, no game clock. Do have a 14-second shot clock. Okay. "45 seconds," he said? Okay.
Thank you.
Good job. Halfway home. Let's go. Yeah, about a minute. We're about 46 to 45 now. Right around the minute time. Right around 1 minute. 1 minute. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 1 minute-ish. saw me looking for it, didn't you?
Memphis Day as teams look for separation in the standings, positioning themselves for the playoffs. Coming up on Big3.com today, Ghost Ballers against Tri-State, our #1 contest, followed by Bivouac against Killer Threes and last week's Player of the Week, Dante Green. And wrapping things up on week 4 with Enemies against Aliens. Already power and triplets moving on to 3-1 this season. The Ghost Ballers and Tri-State, our first matchup, can also do the same in this first game. Welcome inside FedEx Forum in Memphis. Sloan Martin, the legend, the Hall of Famer, and today's winning coach, Nancy Lieberman. Congratulations on Powers win, moving to 3-1. But let's talk first about Ghost Ballers and Tri-State. Both teams who are 2-1 trying to join you at 3-1.
Well, Ghost Ballers, I believe this is the best team that George Gervin has had in his 6 years in the league. He's got 2 star players that he can go to. Tri-State, I mean, they're good. They have a lot of different players, but Jay Rich is the man.
He is absolutely the man. He's been doing everything for this team, including scoring 3rd in the Big 3 this season.
Well, one of the secrets to his game is he's in extraordinary shape. He works so hard in the offseason. He's improved his three-point shot. This was a 2-time NBA All-Star, and he's still bringing it in the Big 3.
And on the other side for the Ghost Ballers, Jonathan Simmons, Mike Taylor teaming up to average nearly 30 points a game.
Yeah, what they do, they split the floor, so you have to figure out where the damage is going to come from. Mike Taylor is virtually unguardable with his drives. Simmons can shoot the ball. He's big, he's strong.
And our rosters, we talked about Mike Taylor, Jonathan Simmons, Chris Johnson getting in on the action as well, Darnell Jackson, Charles Garcia. And then for Tri-State around, Jason Richardson, Justin Dedman, Deshaun Stevens, Devin Ebanks, and Ray Nixon as well. George Gervin, you mentioned, as the leader of the Ghost Ballers this season.
Yeah, he's great. We will forever be linked, by the way, because we're the class, the Hall of Fame class of 96. I love that man, and I grew up loving Dr. J. We're both from New York. I've known him since I was 14. They love each other on the golf course, but in the game, they're doing battle.
Also loving that shirt on Dr. J as well. Let's take a look at our special rules in the Big 3. First team to 50 wins, must win by 2. No game clock, just a 14-second shot clock. Free throws are determined by where the shooter who was fouled took that shot. So it could be 1 shot for 2, 3, or even 4 points. And you'll see those circles for the 4-point shot. Of which, I believe, Nancy, we've seen only 1 today, and it's by Jeremy Pargo, who I believe it's 4 of 5 from 4-point range now, as Richardson lines up a 3 and can't get it to fall.
Yeah, Pargo has played really, really well. Best season for him. He's learning the Big 3, but, you know, you're going to battle. This is a great matchup here.
Score inside by Mike Taylor. You see the cohesion of the Ghost Ballers, where this core group has been together for a couple of seasons.
Well, they've been together, but they're also learning how to find each other in transition, which you can have in half-court basketball.
That shot is good, netted by Devin Ebanks.
Yeah, Devin's been a great addition to this team. He played for the Dallas Mavericks. He can shoot the 3. He's a big body.
Big man outside the 3-point line. Chris Johnson helping set up this offense. But he doesn't know, or maybe he does know the shot clock is winding down. He just gets it off in time.
And really, that's not the big's fault. It's the passer's fault. You've got to be able to know the clock.
You actually got to know your teammate who has their back to the basket, too. Working underneath is Deshaun Stevens. He throws that out of bounds.
Deshaun Stevens, I thought this was a great pickup because he played well for the Aliens a year ago, and Dr. J brought him over to his squad.
Do you ever feel like when you're coaching too? I mean, you've had such a solid group as well with Power, but you're also looking at what other teams are doing and who might be a good fit.
Oh, your third eye is always, monitoring the league and who's around. I've used my son TJ Klein. He's sort of my GM. He brought me Pargo. He's brought me Akil. He brought me Glenn Rice Jr. So you need people who know people.
You never know if that's going to turn into magic, just having those connections and how it'll work on the court. Johnson, that was a nice looking shot, a long two, but beautifully smooth.
Yeah, Chris Johnson, his shot has gotten so much better in his confidence.
We see a lot of players who, season after season, find some way to elevate their game, no matter their age, experience, anything.
Well, watch this. It's a little pin down off and out of bounds, and he knows where the open floor is, where you're not going to get double teamed.
Ebanks will swing it. Richardson. Stevens can't knock down the three, but he gets it right back. Always follow your shot.
Well, always follow your shot, but in this game, if you got young legs like Stevens does, you just got to get to the rim for those offensive rebounds.
Taylor working through the pick and roll now for Ghost Ballers. Almost loses it. Richardson providing good defense, well contested. He still almost made it.
So you can see the transition right now by Tri-State, which leads to this opportunity to score. If you can get the rebound, kick it out, clear your feet, and now start attacking, sometimes the defense is not going to be ready.
You see that happen so often, Nancy, as Stevens go into the line to shoot 1 for 2 points, where you can catch the defense or off guard, or they're looking for a moment to, maybe not this early in the game, but to get that extra breath,
yes,
and then you
are.
absolutely
yes,
jump on them.
You are so correct right here.
I know how important free throws are. I hear it from every single coach. I'm sure I'll hear it from you today, too, even this early in the game, as Taylor tries to wrap that pass around. Richardson is looking for a ferocious jam, but he is fouled.
Yeah, I see. This is what it was like growing up in New York playing basketball. You go to the basket. If it gets deflected, you just put it right back up and you attack. The aggressor gets the calls.
It just feels like a universal truth for sure.
Oh, it's a language.
Richardson at the line, 1 shot for 2 points. We always keep an eye on the foul situation too. The Ghost Ballers already with 16 fouls. Gets them to the bonus.
Well, that's a strategy here. Strategy is you can get to the foul line, you get in the bonus, then you take it helped us in our last game because we were able to keep the ball out of the ball hogs' hands because they had 6 fouls in each half.
I mean, not just the ability to make free throws, but the possession is such a big thing.
Well, there's so many great scorers in this league, just like Jonathan Simmons, just with that little pull-up. It's all about how you're going to negotiate screens. Are you going to switch, then somebody's going to slide to the front of the rim. There's no help on the weak side.
Stevens with the two-handed slam. Very well executed by Tri-State. Simmons handing his face. Didn't matter there.
They run a lot of these flare screens, Tri-State, to try and get their shooters open, and they don't have it on a short clock. They just spread the floor and play.
Ebanks leaves that short, but it did at least graze iron. That's going to open up another opportunity for the big man, Chris Johnson, for 3.
Great awareness by Garcia, recognizing that he didn't really have to clear it. And if you get somebody who runs to the corner, you have an opportunity to score.
Those small details make such a difference in this game when you don't have those lapses of forgetting the rules. Simmons floats it up. And right there to slam it home is Chris Johnson. It is an 13-6 lead for Ghost Ballers here early. Working all around the floor. Looking cohesive to start is Tri-State.
Is this okay to teach?
Yeah, I can hear it. Is this to turn it down?
Yes.
Just for me, right?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Put this behind your arm.
What's going on?
I don't know. He didn't explain why. Like I said, it's not.
You want to say hello to everybody in the
Just
truck?
give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. All right.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, TJ. You got me in your ear?
Yeah,
Okay,
I can hear you.
awesome.
Thank you.
You in the truck is rocking to you. Hold it down. Nobody else can hear you.
I was telling your mom I am a part of the Minnesota Lynx broadcast team, so I just saw her Wings demolish them.
Oh, did that?
But 40 was the largest loss in Lynx history.
Hey, the Wings
So,
are good this year.
They are.
Satsu and Enrique, they're nice.
Really good.
3 for 8, 6 for 9. They're running a lot of fast breaks. They are sending somebody immediately. Can you hear me? You will.
Well, the Big Three is all about family. Basketball is about family, and certainly it is for these two who are joining us on the broadcast, Nancy Lieberman and her son, TJ Klein, a basketball duo teaming up for the Power, who are now 3-1 this season. I'm so happy we're able to get those on the broadcast for you guys. Welcome back into FedEx Forum. Nancy Lieberman, TJ Klein joining us here. Congratulations to both of you on that win that we just saw against... Why am I blanking right now? But they went to 3-1. The Ball Hogs. Thank you.
Yeah.
Going on to defeat the Ball Hogs. I want to ask you first about just what you thought about that victory. I mean, it was maybe one of the best games of the year that I've seen.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the most competitive games we played in our 2 years together, this team in Power. And I thought it was the most physical game we've ever played. I mean, I got to give credit to Barbosa and Juan Summers, and nice play. And Jody Meeks. I thought their physicality was really impressive, actually.
3-point play opportunity for Charles Garcia.
That was nice.
Yeah, look at this. You chest him up. Ray Nixon does that. And, oh, those are things you just don't ever want to see a player get hurt. But, yeah, the physicality that TJ's talking about, this is my 5th year, his 2nd year, it was pretty stout.
It was the most I've had since I've been in the Big Three, and that's why you kind of love the Big Three, because the physicality, the intensity, the toughness. Like, this ain't people's real jobs, like what they do for a living, but the intensity is like it's an NBA game. So that's what I love about it.
I mean, it felt like a playoff game. What is the dynamic like between the two of you? Your history of being coach and athlete, and what it's like here now as an adult in the Big Three?
I mean, I think it's a real. She had always talked about, you can play at this level. How cool would this be? And she was 100% right. I mean, to get to do a thing like this with your mom, but then some of your closest friends, Glenn, Royce. We have that connection. Kat, Akil. So it's really been a dream come true. It's some of the most fun I have playing basketball, and I think I speak for a lot of the guys in the league where say this made the game fun for us again.
I mean, Nancy, you could tell how well he just melded with this team as a playmaker, as someone who does all those extra effort plays and knocks down shots.
Well, he knows how to play the game. And, I know that, we're all looking for good information. It's hard because I'm pushing him, he's pushing me. Sometimes it's not pretty, but at the end of the day, I think we know that we are there for one another. And I'm really proud of him, but I'm real proud of how he has bonded with not only his teammates on Power, but all these guys in the league that he's, gotten to have a friendship with.
I read, Nancy, that you said once that you came out of retirement to play in the newly formed WNBA when TJ was 3 years old because you felt like you wanted him to see you play, to see you compete on the floor, that he saw you just as a broadcaster at that time in your life. What did that mean for you when he was so young to get back on the court and in the uniform?
Well, first, that's when I played at 50 down in Houston, and TJ came to the game, and he was like hitting his watch, like, can we get this thing going? Can Lambeer check you into the game? And I was like, I don't get to tell him when to put me in, but yeah, TJ was 3, and I was at the Olympics with Magic Johnson, and he asked me if I was going to play. I said, I don't know, and he says to me, Nancy, I've never heard you say I don't know. I went home, I looked at TJ, I said, go in there and tell your father Mom's coming out of retirement, and he did. I wanted my son to know what I did, and I'm his mother, yes, and I was doing TV, but I wanted him to know that I was a baller, and I'm so happy that he fell in love with this game.
Well, and the funny thing is I never understood that of why that was such a big deal. And now getting to play in this league when you got older veterans who have families and have kids, like I think it's the coolest thing when Justin Dentman, when Dwan Summers, when Kat, when Royce run out with their kids, like that's the coolest thing in the world to me. So to get to see her do that, I didn't appreciate it at the time as much, but looking back, it was one of the coolest moments I ever had.
There are a lot of big three fathers. It really is this connection where they're able to, in this league, also integrate, be with their families. Maybe that wasn't the case earlier in their career, but now they can have them present in their playing lives.
That's one of the first things that our commissioner, Clyde Drexler, said to me. He said, hey, you know, TJ can be on the bench. Remember you were on the bench a couple years ago?
Yeah, assistant coach.
And Corey Maggette had TJ put our team through practice. But look at Dr. J and look at George Gervin. Their kids, their sons are on the bench coaching with them. This is a family league, and that is just a part of who Ice Cube is.
TJ, do you have a favorite bit of, whether it's a memory or not, or just a bit of lore about your mom that you think is favorite, or maybe something people maybe don't know, playing-wise or anything else? I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit because her legacy is long, of course.
I would say just, what people don't know about her is one, and I'm going to say this and get good points here. Hey, best cook I've ever had. Best chef I've ever had. She's a low-key sous chef. Cooks around the house, my favorite thing. But I would just say the one thing that impresses me the most is just like, and I know she's not me for saying this, but she's 65 years old and she works out and is active like she's 30. And so to get to do that with my mom at this age, I mean, every year for her birthday we have a sports Olympics. Ping pong, golf, tennis, everything, basketball. So for her to be able to do this and to stay this active, like that's what's special for me. That's the cool point of what she does, in my eyes at least.
Okay, how do those competitions go down? You said ping pong.
Ping pong, tennis.
Okay.
We got ping pong, cycling. We got basketball. So a bunch of little sports that we try to make up. And so when I was little, she never let me beat her. I'm not kidding. Until I was 14, I couldn't beat her in any sport I wanted to. So now I don't let her win anything either.
You know, I told him when he was younger, I learned this from Michael Jordan when he was at a basketball camp with me. And I said, why do you play so hard against these guys? He goes, they'll beat me when they can beat me. And I remember saying to TJ, you'll beat me when you can beat me. And now it's often. But, I mean, I used to kill him in ping pong. And then in the house, we have this wrestling WWE belt. And he walks around with the belt, holding it up because he's the champion of the house. But we compete. We battle. You don't want to get in a fist fight with your kids, but we battle.
The three-pointer is good by Taylor. 26-14 is the Ghost Ballers lead. We're joined by TJ Klein of Power, a team that is 3-1 this season. Plenty more to come here at halftime. The score right now, 26-14 Ghost Ballers.
So you never know.
Okay. So we don't have the media timeouts at 12 and 37? Or did I miss?
9 seconds. Yeah. It's not 3 minutes. They're cutting it in the back. We got to go forward.
Bluff City. It is an early lead for Ghost Ballers, 26-14 over Tri-State in this matchup of 2-1 teams. Sloan Martin, Nancy Lieberman, and TJ Klein of Power joining us here into the second half. I know we were chatting in that first half, but I'm surprised to see Ghost Ballers with this large of a lead right now, and Jason Richardson just 2 points.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, I truly didn't see this coming. Tri-State lost last week, and they're one of the most talented teams in the league. But for Ghost Ballers to come off a loss as they did last week and to come with this intensity, I mean, the game is so short that if you don't come out firing and throw the first punch, you're really going to be behind the 8 ball. So I'm really impressed with what the Ghost Ballers did as a team, and hopefully, we'll see if they can keep it going.
Well, Jonathan Simmons has been outstanding, 8 points for the Ghost Ballers right now, and it's been balanced, 8, 7, 6, 5 points for the players who have seen the floor.
Yeah, he can really score from all 3 facets. We saw him take that 1 4-pointer. He missed that, but he can get to the rim. Right here you can see the mid-range. He's a capable 3-point shooter, and his energy, he's a dog. So I really like him with this fit on the Ghost Ballers.
4 of 6 from the floor to start, and he is someone who is counted on for this team. I am very interested in seeing that balance. It's like this Power team as well, where it just seems like it's so unselfish, and that's how you end up winning in this league, I think.
Well, when you get a guy like Simmons, and he's feeling it, you're going to go back to him repetitively. But I thought the Ghost Ballers were very balanced in the first half.
Dedman lines up a 3, misses everything. Tri-State tries to get back on top. Emphatic slam by the Ghost Ballers.
You can see they have all the energy right now. I mean, they're going after loose balls. You can see they're switching. They're causing a lot of chaos out there, and Tri-State's settling for shots.
Especially in 3-on-3 and in the big 3, you have to imagine that when you have a lead and there's no game clock, you just want to really put your foot down on the throttle.
Absolutely. Not rush any shots, not force anything. And, the main thing for the Ghost Ballers right now is you don't want to get in the foul. You don't want to get in the bonus. You don't want to get in the bonus because then that gives them the ball top of the key, allow them to score point after point.
See, one more time now, you take a bad shot or you turn it over and you send your big to the rim, and Johnson flushes that there, but TJ's right.
And one more time, you'll finish first. It's been all Ghost Ballers and Johnson the recipient. Balanced scoring, and they're on top, 32-14.
Wow, they look great. They look great. I mean, their intensity, you can see they have a spark about them. They have an energy about them. They have Tri-State on their heels right now. They got to close it out and stay locked in.
But see right here, they switched, and that time Ebanks, you could see him and Detman talking because there was lack of communication. Are we switching it? Are we not? And then, when you see that, you slip it as a big when you see that miscommunication.
The Ghost Ballers trying to go to 3-1 this season here in week 4, joining Power triplets who have already achieved that record too. Tri-State still has that opportunity, but they are down at this point. Deshaun Stevens leading them with 8 points. Richardson, Nixon, Ebanks with 2 points apiece for each of them. So they're going to need, I think, more contributions the rest of the way.
Yeah. I mean, I think Jason Richardson has to get going. He's a great, right there. He's a great cutter. He moves with the ball, moves without the ball, but can shoot and heat up quick like he did against us.
You saw that coming, TJ.
Right there. You see what I'm saying? Basketball knows basketball.
There he gets his second bucket of today.
He loves to pull the chair.
Oh, yeah. Watch this right here with Richardson. He sees when the ball is being penetrated and all eyes are on the ball handler, it's an automatic to go back door.
Ghost Ballers still doubling up Tri-State here in the second half. Johnson, so mobile.
I really like the actions by Ghost Ballers. They're moving a lot. Ooh, between the legs. They're moving a lot without the ball. And I think that's causing a lot of commotion and switching. And Tri-State tries to keep Detman on the perimeter. And I think that with a lot of different movement, they're doing a great job of getting him in the post.
That might have been the worst possession that the Ghost Ballers have had in this game.
There haven't been many, and that's why it stands out.
Shot.
And that goes through for Devin Ebanks. that's the thing. With not having that running clock, it does open that opportunity for any kind of comeback.
Yeah, you just can't let them, get comfortable and get hot. Like I said, Jay Ridge, Detman, Ebanks, those are guys that can heat up quick. You give them 1 or 2 makes and the basket looks huge to them.
But I like what Justin Detman is doing. He's trying to up the pace right now. Even though he got scored on, they're trying to get the ball out quickly.
Just like Johnson did right there. That just falls out of the rim. A chance for Detman. Flying by is Taylor. And he can't make him pay. One more time for Richardson. He puts it in.
He's an unbelievable rebounder. We talked about him in our locker room when we played him. He's just a dog on the offensive glass.
It feels like there's no coincidence between so many great players in the Big Three who also rebound at such a high rate, too.
Well, in the Big Three, rebounding's so key because we rebound those air balls. It's an automatic 2 points. When you get, there's so many missed shots, only so many in the game. When you got a guard, you can do that and pick up the slack for your bigs. Helps the team tremendously.
TJ, thank you so much for providing your insights and stories about your mom as well. I can't wait to hear about those competitions a little bit later on. I think I'm going to ask next year. Stepping aside for right now, 37-20 is the Ghost Ballers lead here in the second.
Make some noise for the kids. Make some noise for the kids. Give it up for them. We're going to put on a display for you. This is the future of Memphis. This is the next Penny Hardaway. This is the next Mike Bibby. They need to hear the energy. They need to hear the energy, Memphis. They need you to encourage them. They need you to cheer them on. Show them what's up. Show them what's up. Okay, bring the girl out here. Bring the girl out here. Bring the girl out here. Okay, we got the girls hooping too. We got the girls hooping too. Let's get some buckets. Looking like a young Steve Nash out there. They need to hear you, Memphis. Come on. They need to hear y'all. They need to hear the energy. Oh yeah. Big shout out to Kate WBS. Big shout out to the Young Three. Big shout out to Ice Cube. Let me see something, fella. Let me see. What? This is what we do in Memphis. This is what we do in Memphis. This is the next Penny Hardaway. Come on, give it up for them. Give it up. They need more energy, Memphis. They need more energy. They need more energy. Here we go. Let's bring it in, kids. Bring it in. Make some room. Yeah.
Tri-State's got an uphill climb, trailing 37-20 here in the second half in Memphis. So we know the Big Three legends abound, including Dr. J and Iceman George Gervin. They played together in the ABA, starting with the Virginia Squires in the 1970s, but they have been friends throughout the decades, competitive even on the golf course. And Nancy, I wonder if you've heard any stories from those excursions.
Oh, absolutely. I've been on the golf course with these guys. You can't let them out of your sight. They could play 5 days a week. Matter of fact, I think George does. But in many cities, they bring their golf clubs. They'll come in a day early and they'll play. Look, I was looking at my window this morning, and Charles Oakley had his clubs at 8 o'clock, and he was going to the golf course.
I need to be doing this.
If I bring my clubs, they go, hey, the woman's not working hard enough.
A lot of truth in that, unfortunately.
The biggest difference in this game right now, Tri-State is 0 for 10 from 3. The Ghost Ballers are 3 for 5. And they live and die Tri-State by knocking down those threes.
When that is such a big part of their game, do you depart from that when those shots aren't falling, or do you just expect it to based on numbers?
You don't expect them to be 0 for 10. They might be 3 for 7 or whatever it might be, but not 0 for 10. Justin Detman played for me when I coached in the NBA G League. He played for the Texas Legends. He's a great shooter. I've known Jay Ridge since he was, playing in the NBA. A great shooter. Ebanks is a great three-point shooter.
I expect the tide to turn at some point, but down 17. Going 0 for 10, as you mentioned, from 3. Looking for 4 is Detman. That's too strong, and he knew exactly where that miss was going. Detman for 3 from the corner, no good.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with himself, and then he gets pinned under. Look at this ball movement. Swing for the hockey assist.
Beautiful basketball.
You can play NBA basketball is 3-on-3 on one side, 2-on-2 on the other. This is the purest form of the game.
Cutting up the middle is Ebanks, and he can't finish. That's the kind of night it's been for Tri-State, inside and out.
You start getting to this 40-point mark, you just got to attack the rim. You've got to draw fouls, attack the rim, especially against a team that's really having a hard time in stretch.
And just like that, a three-point play opportunity, really anything to extend this game.
Well, they need anything. It doesn't have to be pretty. Great second effort right there by Devin and finishing. You make layups with your eyes. He kept his eyes up on the rim.
That's a good thing to remember. There were some missed layups earlier on today, and
because you pull your head down. When you pull your head down, it pulls your arm down. Didn't you play Operation as a kid? The head bone's connected to the shoulder bone.
The one that buzzes when you touch the sides? Oh, a little stressful.
Do they still sell that? I love that game.
I hope there's kids out there still playing it.
See, this is so unusual. They're not making their shots. They're not making their foul shots.
And there is a reason they're 2-1. That's because they're shooting their efficiency on offense, and that has not been there today. 40-22, the Ghost Ballers with the lead. Taylor tried to stand his ground, and too strong is Ebanks. Garcia threads through the defense. That'll be waved off, an offensive foul.
That was a great defensive play. You don't really see that very often, but right here, he left the corner shooter alone, D-block, and he goes, I'm just going to stay here because I think he's going to run me over. And D-block is really good at that, Darnell Jackson. Another guy in this league who played for me a couple years ago when we had a tremendous amount of injuries. Smart, can shoot. You love to have somebody like that on your team.
Jason Richardson backing down Taylor, too strong. And Nancy, you talked about trying to attack, get to the free throw line, but those high percentage shots are going to help get into this game too.
Well, you're going to have to stop these guys at some point. And if you play the 2-point game, it's going to be a long game because, there's so much that you are trying to overcome.
You're exactly right. Trying to get back into this with easy twos, but you need those stops.
Well, somewhere in this, you got to knock down a three. Right here, a little loose with the basketball. Great hustle by Jonathan Simmons. Very uncharacteristic. Similar to when we played them, we had our worst game of the season. We just didn't have a lot going for us, and this is very reminiscent. It's going to happen in this league.
Taylor can't get it off glass, and he'll chase down that long rebound.
Offense is multiple actions. Defense is multiple efforts. And you're seeing a lot of multiple efforts right now in the game, especially with the Ghost Ballers.
Tri-State, and it really hasn't just been their shooting, as we're going to have a Bring the Fire here. Brought to you by Taco Bell.
Be honest with me, wouldn't you like them, instead of the fire, to bring us tacos?
Why has this not been established?
Hang on, I'm going to text Cube right now.
Two players involved in the shooting foul going one-on-one. Taylor makes the hard move and the left-hand finish.
So when you get the basketball, you've got to be between the top of the key and the top of the three-point line right here. I profess that you have to drive the defender in and use a counter move unless you beat them outright.
We saw defense get the upper hand until your game against Ball Hogs, and then offense scoring again. So evening up as the day goes on here of week 4 of the Big Three. I still have yet to see long-term statistics for Bring the Fire. Maybe it is more even than I think it is offensively.
You know what? You can have it once a game, once a half, and you have to use it. You use it or you lose it, and you might as well use it on, there's going to be a foul that you don't think's a foul. But you can just see that, Tri-State's playing so much better in the second half right now. I don't have the stats in front of me, but, this has to be close to even, or maybe they're up in this second half because they're attacking more. And they haven't given up, and that's what I love about this.
A 12-point game now. The blow-by is good. Jonathan Simmons, strong finish.
Well, it's always about the first angle that you take when somebody's coming at you. If you try to, take them off the first bounce, if you don't get position and drop accordingly, then they're going to be able to get to the rim.
Turnover right in the paint. Taylor trying to make the pay, and he does. And they are inching closer. It is point game for Ghost Ballers. Richardson knows they need shots like that.
That's the first one they've had in the game from what I can remember.
Cold shooting for Tri-State from long range, and they needed it a lot earlier than now. Taylor trying to end it, and he does. Ghost Ballers, a strong statement win to move to 3-1 this season.
That was unbelievable the way they played from the beginning to the end. This is where Mike Taylor can just take your heart out. He's slow and beautifully methodical into his shot. He is really good.
It was never in doubt from the beginning. A strong start by Ghost Ballers leads to this 50-33 win. More to come here on Big3.com. More games to be played. Week 4 in Memphis rolls on.
Guys, do not want to miss our next game. 4-point shootout with NRE Choppa and Ice Cube. Also, the legend, Carl Lumpy, here for his Celebrities team.
Yep, got it.
Here we go, game 5.
Yep.
To the corners, their victory record outstanding. 2 victories, 1 defeat. Big one!
6'9" out of Florida.
Back here at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Ghost Ballers defeating Tri-State. The final 50-33, a dominant win for the Ghost Ballers to go to 3-1. Coming up